That's what you live for in sports, is an opportunity to deliver under pressure. And yeah, it's amazing, that feeling that comes with that when it all comes together.
William Byron had that microphone in hand and he dropped it Sunday in Martinsville, but he's going to pick it back up because he's got one more week to win a championship. Willie B is here. William Byron going to the championship for again. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. What a race. What a performance out of that team. I loved watching you when you got out of the car, and I loved watching you celebrate with your guys. How do you describe the feeling of delivering that win, this experience, this opportunity to that group of guys who have your back every single day of the year?
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Honestly, it's that's all you really. That's ultimately what you go out and try to do, is impress your guys, or make it all worth it for them. And that's some of the pressure that you put on your shoulders. And I think Rudy said it well before the last restart. He said something like, we've got your back, and you've earned this. And so it was that was awesome. And yeah, I just felt like, it was just a bit of relief, but a lot of it was excitement and joy, and just being able to kind of live in the moment of that experience, because that's what you live for in sports, is an opportunity to deliver under pressure. And it's amazing, that feeling that comes with that when it all comes together.
But I've known you for a long time, and I've interviewed you after big wins, and I don't really get the sense that even after some of the big wins that you've allowed yourself to live in the moment. And hearing you in the media center talk about what you did yesterday in terms of starting on the pole, winning the stages, leading the most laps, all of that stuff, I felt like you were really embracing the moment. Am I wrong in sort of reading that?
Yeah, I think a lot of times it pulls you a lot of ways in the moment. You're just thinking about, the next thing, or you're just thinking about what it means to everybody else. So you're not really feeling it yourself. But yeah, yesterday when I got out of the race car, I wanted to get out of the race car with the helmet off and the ear molds out, so I could hear the crowd, because I've seen those moments, in sports, and you just want to feel that energy. And I was super appreciative of the crowd, and just the nature of Martinsville. It's really like, that is our stadium in
Oh, yeah.
NASCAR. That's a sacred place, and it just feels like when you're there in that moment, it's just cool to have all the fan support, and just that feeling. So yeah, and then having my team guys to jump into their arms and just experience that with them is pretty special.
How strong were those emotions when you got out of that car?
Yeah, it was huge. I mean, just in some ways, it's like the job's not completely done,
Yeah.
and there's that next carrot hanging out there. And that's why we go to Martinsville with that much intention, and is to try to race for a championship. So I think that I was excited, obviously, but I'm also thinking about, what's next. And I don't want to be too high in the moment, because
That's right.
there's a lot of work to be done. But I mean, God, the feeling of being able to go out there and have that pressure, and execute like that was awesome for our whole team, but awesome for me.
I want to use an example of my life as well, to kind of relate to you in making that pass on Blaney. When I did triathlons, and I use this a lot when I talk to the athletes, because I feel like I mentally kind of understand a little bit of the strategy and moments and how to kind of stay focused. I'm always talking to myself. I'm having an internal dialogue, whether it be stay calm, do this, do that. What is your internal dialogue in those laps as you're catching Blaney and then making the pass?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, I think, yeah, every athlete kind of goes through that. You are talking through what you think is the next best thing for you to do. And sometimes you're motivating yourself to push harder, in the
Yeah.
right ways. And that's where driving a race car, or whatever sport, like there's a right way of effort, and then there's a way to go over the top, and burn your tires up, or do whatever it is. So like, as I'm catching him, it's just hundreds of races that I've been through, thinking about how I've managed those situations, good or bad. And I think all that experience kind of helps shape you in those moments. And yeah, I mean, I think I had an opportunity, obviously, there to pass him, and you know, I was aggressive in the moment. You know, I think, you know, it's just racing with that end goal in mind, and just knowing like how much you can be aggressive but not over the top. And yeah, it was an amazing battle with him. I have a lot of respect for Ryan. He's extremely fast, and he's really been the standard in the series. And yeah, it was fun to race him.
Yeah, it was fun to watch because that is exactly what you want to see. You don't want to see a situation like this get overclouded with someone being upset because the move was egregious or this or that. So I mean, fans as well were served so well by watching that battle between the two of you guys. And you've openly talked on Full Speed. You openly talked about seeing a sports psychologist, which I think is the norm now. It has to be. There's so many elements involved when you are an athlete that is 1,000,000% part of the preparation. What tools specifically did you use in that moment that maybe you've sort of acquired over the years with having a sports psychologist?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I feel like I was vulnerable, kind of showing that, and I honestly, I'm glad I was, because it's part of what shapes me and makes me who I am. But yeah, it's for me personally, and I feel like a lot of athletes have talked about this. The
A
mental
lot,
side is just,
a lot.
yeah, yeah, it's just so important. Like the mental side is, I mean, it's important for anybody's life. And so I think, you know, it's just, and it always goes and ebbs and flows. Like it's never going to all be roses, and it's never going to all, you're never going to always have the thoughts you want to have. Like there's always those intrusive thoughts that are negative or pull you away from your goal. And like I'm a big golfer, so I've heard Rory McIlroy talk about, you know, he still thinks about hitting it in the water on 17 at, you know, TPC Sawgrass or wherever in the players. Like everyone thinks about those things.
Hmm.
So it's just a matter of how you channel it and how you work through it. And yeah, I've been through those struggles even this year, you know, with some of the races that we've lost, unfortunately, and feeling like you have a part in that. Although there are so many factors in a race, you know, that you're not always in control of, but you have to kind of focus on what you can control, and try to do the best job you can with that.
Yeah, I think it's great that you've opened up about that and talked about that. I know you're not the only driver who has, because it's preparing. You know, you've got the car, you're physically ready in terms of preparation with your body and your nutrition and all that stuff, and the mind cannot be overlooked because it is 80% mental, all of this stuff that we do, whether the season length or the race length, staying focused and staying in the moment is all between the ears. Jeff Gordon, because you opened up about the season, he did say in the media center, he said about you guys, you win the Daytona 500, you've got high expectations, you win a couple of races, and all of a sudden you have a summer slump where you feel like you can't do anything right. You start doubting yourself as a driver, as a crew chief, pit crew member, mechanic, engineer, all the way across the board. You start searching. And I think this is a guy who's obviously been in that situation before and has a view of what goes on within your team more than anybody else. So, how spot on was he about that search, and how did that search help this team prepare for what you're going to see on Sunday?
Yeah, I think our season's been a journey, just like anybody's. You know, I think, yeah, it has been truly a journey this year, and I think that a lot of people could look at our season from the outside and they would say, "Man, he's not. What adversity is he talking about? He won the regular season
Yeah.
championship. He's won the Daytona 500. Now he's in the championship race. Like, what is he talking about? This looks like a great year on paper." And there is. I mean, I think there was a point of this season when we didn't get the wins that we thought would happen in April and May. And so we missed a few opportunities there. And then we were pushing harder in June, and really June and into and beginning of July. Like we were just trying really hard, and I was trying really hard. I was making mistakes because of that. And I started to, hit the wall or crash the car or, miss a corner or whatever it was. And like, just started trying hard because you wanted the result really bad. And I
Yeah.
think that's where sometimes it's not always all in your control. Like you just have to do the best job you can with what you're given, and for whatever reason that is, and And so, yeah, I just think, yeah, we maybe got a little bit overstretched over our skis a little bit in the summer, but sometimes I think that's good too because you learn the edge and you learn the limit. And, if you never go over that limit, a lot of times you question to yourself, okay, am I doing everything I can do in this race car? And so, yeah, I've been over the limit probably more times than ever in my Cup career this year. I've crashed a little bit more, but it's all been good. And I think really these last 3 weeks, it's just been bad luck. It's just been bad fortune, and that can derail you as well because we have done everything I feel like in our control over the last 3 weeks, but it just didn't work out until this weekend.
It's the only way you grow. Nick Saban used to say, you learn the most about yourself during times of adversity. 1000% believe that. You have to be able to go through those in order to learn. Another thing, I know mental visualization is big for me. When I do my races, I start sort of not only meditating and doing those things visually, watching the course if I'm running or doing a triathlon, looking ahead and preparing myself to be in that moment. When does that start for you? And what does that entail when it comes to going to Phoenix?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm best when I'm pretty analytical. So I don't know if I will. I don't know if I will dream necessarily about Sunday, but I will definitely think about all the factors, and I will think about all the things that I can do better at, and I'll just dive into it and just do my homework, do my research, and hopefully by Sunday I feel confident in my prep and I feel comfortable in all those things, and then you kind of let the circumstances play out, and you just let kind of nature do its thing. So yeah, I think it's just kind of that's my mindset.
Listen, I'm going to be right here next Monday. So I hope to see you here
Yeah,
chatting. Actually, I won't be here because I'm in Miami with the Hornets right now, but I will be here. So
awesome.
I really hope to see you there, William.
I hope so. Thank you,
All
Shannon.
right.
Appreciate
Good
it.
luck. Good luck. No question, William Byron had a great day, but best day ever has to go to Noah Gregson. I mean, listen, Noah Gregson's having like the best life ever. He's just so much fun. But take a look at this. He thought it would be funny to lock his friend Todd Gilliland in a porta-john. Apparently they zip tied it. And he thought that he was stuck in the porta-john out there in Martinsville. Very funny, Noah. But you know what? Paybacks are, you know what? Oh, God. This is so funny. Personally, I call porta-johns the great equalizer of life because I think no matter how famous you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter who you are, we all walk out of a porta-john feeling exactly the same. And I'm telling you, it is not a place that I would like to be locked in for a significant amount of time. So I would be watching your back, one Noah Gregson. We are going to be back here next week. We are going to crown a champion on Sunday in Phoenix. The cast, the four drivers that are going to be competing, the storylines are just so incredible. It's going to be so fun to watch. Cannot wait to catch up with the winner 1 week from today. So we'll see you right back here on the day after, Monday, after the championship.